Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dan Swords, and it's a great honour to welcome you to the Civic Centre this evening as leader of the council to celebrate 250 years of Harlow Cricket Club. But before I begin, I've been told in strict terms that I must make a plug for you to visit the incredible exhibition at the museum of some of your successes over the past 2.5 centuries. If you have not done so already, me included, it really is spectacular from what I'm told. But it is an immense pleasure and a distinct honour to welcome you this evening to celebrate a milestone that is not only a testament to the enduring spirit of sport, but also to the community of Harlow, because we are gathered here to mark the 250th anniversary of Harlow Cricket Club, a quarter of a millennium of cricketing history, excellence and camaraderie. 250 years ago, folk laid the foundation of what would become one of the most cherished cricket clubs in the country. And can you just imagine what they found at that time 250 years ago? George III was the king. Lord North, the Prime Minister, who indeed that year was robbed by a highwayman. This was the year when Joseph Priestley first isolated oxygen as a gas. I'm also reliably informed that it was in 1774 that the LBW rule was first introduced into cricket, although some sources are a tad questionable. But most prominently on the fields of a leafy parish near London, the first cricket ball was bowled. And those folk could scarcely have imagined that their modest gathering that day would flourish into an institution that today embodies the very essence of our community and our shared love of the game of cricket. Because Harlow Cricket Club is more than just a sports club. It is a cornerstone of our local heritage, a beacon of sporting excellence, and a significant sign of the community cohesion that we enjoy. Because for generations, this club has been a place where young and old alike have come together, some older, Alan, than others, where young and old have come alike together, not just to play cricket, but to forge friendships, to learn the values of teamwork and perseverance, and to experience the joy of collective endeavour. Over the centuries, this club has seen it all. The highs of glorious victories, the lows of challenging seasons, and the steadfast resilience in the face of adversity. It has been a nurturing ground for young talent, with many of its players going on to achieve greater success on larger stages. Yet the true legacy of Harlow Cricket Club lies not merely in its achievements on the field, but in its unwavering commitment to fostering a sense of belonging and community spirit. So today, as we reflect on this remarkable journey, we honour all of those who have contributed to the club's rich tapestry. The players, past and present, where dedication and passion have driven the club forward. The coaches and volunteers, whose selfless efforts have ensured the smooth running of the club. The families and supporters whose encouragement has been the bedrock of the club's successes. But given that the club has travelled through 250 years of history from parish to town, I want to focus most, as anyone who has heard me speak before, on the innovators. Innovators like your president, Alan Howick, who have literally devoted their life to our town and this club. Because this is a town of innovators. We literally led the world in architectural genius. We are home to Britain's first ever high-rise residential block, which at a staggering 8 stories, erupting from the earth like a giant toothpick, troubles the Shard, if not for height, at least for history. Less than 3 miles from where we sit, fibre optic technology was invented, which is now sprouting in every home and nearly every building across the globe. It is now apt that on that very spot lives the UK's largest and most powerful supercomputer and Europe's biggest data cloud bank. And I think that in itself has a wider story. Nearly every country in the world has a bit of Harlow in it. Those are things which you may be aware of, so I have troubled myself to find some other things that may not be so common. The post-it note, who knew that was invented at 3M's in Harlow? And I can top that with something that many of you will not know, which I think trumps it all so eloquently. Trumps and sums up the enterprise, innovation, ingenuity, and genius of the good people of Harlow. Because when the people of Britain's wonderful farms looked at an urn of curdling milk, they quite rightly saw the opportunity to make cheese, and good job they did. But when the people of Harlow saw an urn of curdling milk, they saw and seized the opportunity to create Baileys. The recipe for Baileys was invented in Harlow, now sold in 118 countries across the globe, and good job it was, because of course Christmas in Kazakhstan would not be the same without it. One of the leading forms of antidepressant was invented in Harlow, the rotary lawnmower, the franking machine, the first ever health centre and sports centre. Indeed, we are the only sculpture town in the world. All of these achievements and innovations have changed the world in some way. But the greatest invention, of course, the one that has questionably changed the world the most, is the cricket scoreboard. This is now commemorated in Old Harlow with a blue plaque, but I have today found something quite extraordinary. I have here an advertisement of that great pioneering invention. It reads, and I quote, "Sam Durd's patent patent self-registering cricket scoring board, a simple, cheap and effective scoring board. Prices of boards as follows. Number 1 size, 10 foot by 7 inches without covering up back, £27. Number 2 size, 12 foot by 9 foot with tarpaulin covering, £37. Number 3 size, 15 foot by 12 foot with closed in building for scoring complete, £68. So there you have it, folk. The greatest sporting invention of a generation was created in the very fields you now play in. The lesson of this, of course, is that our town and your club was not built by those who waited and rested and wished to look behind them. It was done so by those who look forward, so we too must look forward. We look to the future now with a renewed sense of purpose and optimism, because the town, as I have discussed with some of you this evening, is changing rapidly. But the values that underpin Harlow Cricket Club remain as relevant today as they were 250 years ago. In a time when community and togetherness are more important than ever, the club stands as a testament to what we can achieve when we come together with a shared vision and common purpose. So let us celebrate this extraordinary milestone with pride and joy. Let us honour the legacy of those who came before us by continuing to nurture and support this wonderful club. And let us commit ourselves to ensuring that Harlow Cricket Club remains a vibrant and vital part of our community for many generations to come. Thank you very much, and here's to the next 250 years of Harlow Cricket Club.
Thank you very much, and that is quite literally the definition of a hard act to follow, isn't it? I mean, when you listen to the leader of the council, it's a bit like getting a history lesson, a political speech, and a rallying cry all at the same time. And that's always the danger of going second. And so, apologies, I probably will not make you laugh as much. I will not give you as much of a history lesson. For those who don't know me, I'm Andrew Johnson, and I'm the current chair of the council, the civic leader, the one with responsibility for being the conscience of the council chamber, and the one that gets to do all of the fun things. Dan has all the hard work. I get to open lovely buildings. I get to say thank you to people like you, which is what tonight is all about. Harlow, as my birthplace, is an amazing place, and you've heard Dan talk about all the things that were created here. But for me, growing up in Harlow was very much a community, a family. Everyone knew each other, everyone got on with each other, and everyone played sport together with each other. My father and my father-in-law, my wife's sitting there, my father and my father-in-law both played cricket together, both played football together, both played rugby together at school, and I think that's the same history for many people who come from Harlow. We're part of a community. And so what was lovely earlier on this evening downstairs talking to people was hearing about the community that is Harlow Cricket Club. The fact that whole families are involved, the fact that we're bringing people in from not just Harlow but from outside of the town, from North London and from the surrounding villages and towns to come and play cricket in our wonderful town. I'm an archaeologist by trade, and whenever people talk about Harlow, they always just talk about the new town, and I'm always conscious about the history of our town. And it's wonderful tonight to be celebrating an organisation, a group that have so much history here, predating the new town and predating a number of the other towns around. When I was reading the last 24 hours about the cricket club, Hubbard Hall, Moore Hall, all of the great buildings, the great residences of the town, the history of this area, all cropped up because they all had players and patronage from those big buildings. They've all been integral parts. The names that I've read in the history are the names that crop up all over the place in our town as estate names now. There's a place in Great Palmdon where it was once a cricket field and is now, it's now a housing estate, but the cricket is remembered in the names of our town. And I think, as Dan says, when we move forward into the new era of the town, with Harlow North happening, we need to make sure that there is availability for sport of all kind, and particularly for cricket, in those areas. It's important because it's a link to our past as well as our future. 1774 is 250 years is a long time ago. And you would think, when people say cricket, often people think, oh, it's ancient history, it's old men, it's very, very quintessentially English, isn't it? It's Morris dancing and cricket on the village green, and every village had a cricket pitch. When I started to read the history of Harlow Cricket Club, and thanks Alan for all the work you've put into that, when I was able to go onto your website and look at the book, there's a lot of information there about the history of our town, not just of cricket. I read that you didn't just start in 1774, but in 1777 you had a ladies' match going on. If you said to anyone else outside of this town, 1777, a ladies' cricket team, they would think you were having a laugh. I'm just sad that you haven't at the moment got a full ladies team, but maybe that's one for the future. As I was reading the history, a lot of the great members and influences of Harlow Cricket Club were people who went on to become High Sheriffs of Essex, Lord Lieutenants of Essex, and put our part of the little corner of Essex on the map. And I hope that will continue. I hope the cricket club will go from strength to strength. And I hope that, in 250 years' time, there will be more notable people that have come from the family that is the cricket club. As chair this year, it's been a real pleasure to host, I think we've done 9 of these receptions now through the year. The gems of Harlow, we call them. The people, the places, and the organisations that make Harlow sparkle. That make Harlow the nice place it is to live. We opened the year with a successful sports team, with Harlow Rugby Club coming back from Twickenham in a record-breaking year. And we closed the year with an event for a 250-year-old club that has been a cornerstone of our town. So I just want to say thank you to you all. And sometimes it's just nice wearing this chain to thank you on behalf of all of the councillors, whatever political colours, of all of the people of the town. When I wear this chain, I'm the first citizen of 95,000 people. And so on behalf of all 95,000 of those, thank you all for what you do in whatever capacity in making Harlow Cricket Club great, because in doing that, you're making Harlow great. Thank you for coming tonight and thank you for all you do.